Now, our third definition, line segment, the line which have two endpoints is a line segment. Suppose we have a line. If this line have two endpoints, then it is called line segment. It is called line segment. So here, to define this line segment, we use the word line, which is undefined term. Now, fourth, radius of a circle. Now, what is radius of circle? Suppose we have this circle and this is the center of circle. A line segment whose one end point is the center of a circle and other point is the point of circle. A line segment whose one end point is center of a circle, say center is O, and say this point A, it is point of circle. So a line segment whose one end point is center of circle and other is point of circle, it is called the radius of circle. So which term we have used here? Point is undefined term. Then also we use the word center to define the radius of circle. Now, square, that is a quadrilateral having all sides equal. A quadrilateral having all sides equal and all angles right angle. A quadrilateral, all sides same and all angles are right angle. So it is called square. So here which we use here? Quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is made of four sides and four angles. Now question number 3. Consider these two postulates. First postulate, given any two distinct points A and B, there exists a third point C which is in between A and B. And there exist at least 3 points that are not on the same line. Now what we have to find? We have given the question, do this postulate contain any undefined term? So yes, these two postulates contain undefined term. First undefined term point, then line, etc. So these two postulates contain the undefined term points, line. So our first question is yes, these postulates contain undefined terms, that is line, point. Right? Now our next question is, are these postulates consistent? So yes, because these two postulates deal with two different conditions. In first postulate, what is given? Given any two distinct points A and B, there exists a third point C which is between A and B. So we know that these 2 points make a one line, and there exists a third point C which is between A and B. This is our situation of first postulate. And what is situation of second postulate? There exist at least 3 points that are not on same line. Suppose we have a these are points, 2 point AB, and third point there exists at least 3. At least 3 means 3 or more than 3. So at least 3 points. We consider 3 points that are not on same line. So A and B are same line and D is not on same line. So here both these situations are different. So we can say that these two postulates are consistent because they deal with two different situations. So our next question is, these postulates are consistent because they deal with two different situations. And next question is, do they follow the Euclid postulate? So it is, our answer is not. They do not follow Euclid postulate. They do not follow Euclid postulate, but they follow a axiom. Because they follow a axiom. Which axiom? That is axiom that is, if we have two distinct points, then this distinct point one line passes through this distinct point. That is, if we have two distinct points, then a unique line, that is one and only one line passes through this distinct point. So these two postulates do not follow the Euclid postulate, but follow the axiom. Now our question number 4 is, if a point C lies between 2 points A and B such that AC equal to BC, and prove that AC equal to half AB, and explain by drawing the figure. Here we have given C lies between two distinct point A and B such that AC equal to BC. So here we have C lies between two distinct points. So A and B are two distinct points. So we know that a one line passing through A and B, and C lies between these 2 points, and we have given that we have AC equal to BC. It is given, and we have to prove that AC equal to half AB. Now we have given AC equal to BC. Now if we add AC on both sides, AC equal to BC plus AC. Okay, add AC on both the sides. Now AC plus AC, that is 2AC. Now BC, BC plus AC, BC plus AC, that is AB, because all these 3 points are collinear. Collinear, that is they are on a same line. The points which are on same line, they are called collinear point. So here A dash C dash B. So AC plus BC, AC plus BC, AC plus BC, that is AB. So 2AC equal to AB, therefore AC equal to 1/2 AB. So hence our result is proved. Now question number 5. In question number 4, point C is called a midpoint of line segment AB. Prove that every line segment has one and only one midpoint. Here AC equal to BC, it means C is midpoint of AB. Now we have to show that there is a unique midpoint of a line segment. Unique, that is one and only one. So how we prove? So here C is a midpoint of AB, right? C is a midpoint of AB. Let D, here C is a midpoint of line segment AB. So we have to show that there is unique midpoint. So suppose that another midpoint D of a line segment AB. Let D is another midpoint of AB. Now here C is a midpoint of AB, so therefore AC equal to 1/2 AB, and D is a midpoint of AB, that is AD equal to 1/2 AB. Now these sides are given, these are same. So we know that if A equal to B, B equal to C, so A equal to C. So here this equal to 1/2 AB, 1/2 AB equal to AD. It means therefore AC equal to AD, and AC equal to AD, it means that C equal to D, and therefore a line segment have AC equal to AD, it means C and D are same, so a line segment have one midpoint. Now question number 6. In this figure we have AC equal to BD, and we have to prove that AB equal to CD. AC equal to BD, and we have to prove AB equal to CD. So here we have given AC equal to BD, AC equal to BD. Now AC we write AB plus BC, AB plus BC, and BD we write BC plus CD, BC cut, therefore AB equal to CD, AB equal to CD, and that we have to prove. Hence the result is proved. The result is proved. Now our question number 7. Why is axiom 5 in the list of Euclid axiom considered a universal truth? Now what is the axiom 5 of Euclid's axiom? Axiom 5 is The whole is greater than the part. Whole is a greater than the part. For example, suppose we have 5 equal to 2 plus 3. 5 equal, it means 5 greater than 2. We know that 5 is greater and 5 is also greater than 3. So the whole is greater than the part. 5 greater than 2, 5 greater. And this is true for anything in any part of the world. This is true for anything in any part of the world. So we can say that it is the universal truth. The whole is greater than the part. It is true for anything in any part of the world. So it is the universal truth.